Tasmanian tiger LPS don't exist, so let's make our own. Hey, it's Honey, and yes, today we're going to be making a Tasmanian tiger Littlest Pet Shop. This animal has been extinct for many years, unfortunately, and it was a native animal to my home country, Australia. So today we're going to be doing him justice and giving him his own Littlest Pet Shop figurine, using this beautiful resin base supplied by Sunny's Pet Garden. I've talked about Sunny multiple times in the past, and there'll be a link to her store in the description down below, but she so kindly sent me this Tasmanian tiger resin figurine that was inspired by Littlest Pet Shop. She sells a variety of other animals that have never been made into actual Littlest Pet Shops, as well as a few redesigned LPS animals. I personally really recommend her resin figurines. I've customized a couple already, and like I said, today we're going to be doing one together, so definitely check her out. But without any further delay, let's make our Tasmanian tiger LPS a reality. So let's get onto the painting. I absolutely love painting these resin figurines because the paint just goes on so smooth, even more smooth than painting a regular LPS. I don't know what it is about the resin, but it just looks so good. Even though you can obviously see the brush strokes within the first few layers, it's just so nice. Like, if you want a custom that doesn't look streaky, this is the base, okay? Get a resin pet, because I am always blown away by how smooth the paint goes on. But while we're painting this pet, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine, as it is probably more commonly known overseas. In Australia, I've never met an Australian that doesn't call it a Tasmanian tiger. We just all call it Tasmanian tigers over here. But internationally, you guys might know it as a thylacine or thylacine. My pronunciation might not be the best, so I apologize. But some facts about this beautiful animal is that it is actually a marsupial. It went extinct in the 1930s, so quite a while ago, unfortunately, and a lot of the images that we have of this animal are in black and white, and then there have been some images that have been like colorized, I guess, of the original black and white images based off of the, I guess, fur that we have in museums and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very unfortunate that this animal went extinct because it looked really, really cool. It was called the Tasmanian tiger because of the stripes on it, even though it was a marsupial. And it also had an incredibly large jaw, which again looked really freaking cool. And it was originally found all over Australia, as well as Tasmania and New Guinea. But over time, it was kind of like poached down to only be in Tasmania, and then unfortunately the last Tasmanian tiger died in captivity. I think they're a really cool animal, and when Sunny messaged me saying that she was going to be making a resin mold based off of a thylacine, I was so excited. I was like, hand it over right now, please. And I'm very grateful that she sent me this one because I really, really was looking forward to painting it. Lately, I've been kind of mapping out my customs digitally before I paint them, but for this one I actually just went straight in because I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do already. With my digital designs, that's where I kind of get the inspiration for the custom, but this one, it was already in my head, so I thought I'd just jump straight in because I wanted to go with a design that was pretty similar to the real life animal. So that meant a lot of browns, some reds, some tan, just all over very earthy brown colors. And I'm pretty happy with the colors I chose. He might be a little darker than thylacines actually were, but we may never know. Maybe they were darker thylacines. You never know, you know? He could have been out there somewhere and yeah. but I'm pretty happy with the color. And of course I was very excited to do the stripes on the back because that is the most iconic part of this animal. It's why it got its nickname, and I think I did an okay job with the stripes. I tried to make them look as natural as possible, little wavy bits here and there, some kind of half stripes. And you guys might have noticed, but I've also been putting a bit of cream paint inside the stripes as well. This isn't something you'd typically see on this animal, but they do have a lot of kind of cream tan colors over their body, and I thought a cool way for me to represent that would be inside the stripes. And it also kind of just makes the stripes stand out a bit as well. So he's not 100% law accurate, but I thought it was a cool detail. Let me know what you guys think, obviously. But yeah, the overall design for this custom was to stay pretty realistic in terms of the design, with the stripes and the colors and everything, and even with the eyes as well, which you guys will see me paint later. I also kept very realistic colors for that. I also love the little tooth. I've realized if I use a toothpick for making little sharp lines, it works a lot better than using a brush. Maybe it's because my brushes are getting a little frayed, but I found that the toothpick method works pretty good. So I'm happy with how the tooth turned out, and I then moved on to the eyes and just repainting some parts that needed a few more coats to be more, what's the word? Opacid? Is that the word? I don't know if that is or not, my mind's blanking, but while I was doing the white coats on the eyes, I also went around and did some more smaller details around the ears, and like I said, building up some coats on smaller areas that just needed to be a little darker. You guys would have seen earlier, but I used a makeup sponge to give a bit of gradient on the face and the front of the body. It is very, very light and pretty much not noticeable from this distance, but in person it gives it this really cool kind of light and shadow effect where the front of the pet looks a lot lighter, just like because of the way the light's hitting it, if that makes sense. Like if you looked at it in neutral lighting, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, but if the light hits it, it looks really, really cool, and hopefully you'll be able to see it in the end when he's fully done. So, side note, this pet may be extinct, but we do have another animal, the Tasmanian devil, that is still alive, and I think it's so adorable, and I'd love to make a custom of that one as well. Let me know what you guys think. Like, look at the baby. Is that not the cutest? I was a bit worried that the paws wouldn't stand out as much as I wanted them to, because I was using the same brown that I used for the nose and stripes, but thankfully building it up with multiple coats did make it look more noticeable, because I felt like leaving the paws just the same color as the body wouldn't have looked as good. It would have looked a bit bland, like it was missing something. So I'm really happy I did decide to paint the paws. You guys are also going to see me do something which I've never done before in a custom, and that is trying to do little kind of individual hair strokes. This was my first time doing it. I am in no way an expert, and there are so many amazing customizers who are pros at this, and you know, it's a learning experience, but I'm pretty happy with my first try. I originally went in with the tan color around the eyes, but then I also went in with some more colors as well. And I was just building up all these little individual strokes to make it look kind of like fur, making it look fuzzy without having to like flock the pet, for example. And like I said, this was my first attempt. I have never ever done this on any other customs, so it is not perfect. It is nowhere near the professionals in the community, but I am happy with it for now. I'll probably look back on it in like 5 months when I do this more and be like, ooh, but right now I'm happy with it. I also added some darker brown. I think this was the same brown as the stripes and feet as well. And then I even went in with a teeny itty bitty spitty bit of white paint as well, just to put like the odd one white hair here and there, just to kind of build it up. It also really reminded me of the Australian brush or bushland. Very dry, very scratchy, a lot of reds, browns, tans. So it's a little bit of Australia as well, which makes sense seeing as it's an Australian animal. But then I went in with the eyes. I used a really dark brown, so dark in fact that it's kind of hard to tell the brown between the black. And I like that because once again, just like the gradient, when the light hits it, it looks really cool. But I kind of wish I used a slightly lighter brown just so you could see it a bit better. Right now it just looks brown, which is great, but when you build the layers up, it's a lot darker, and then you guys will see me put on the black paint for the eyes, and it almost like disappears because they're so close in color. But you can still tell the difference. I just wish I had gone a little lighter. If I had known that it was going to blend in so much, I definitely would have made the color slightly different. I still really like how it turned out though, and I did some more little markings on the front of the face with the brown paint as well. And you guys can see now like how similar the black paint is to the brown. I wish I had made it a little lighter, but I still love it, so. I wanted to give this little pet some unique eye shapes, so I did the little 3 dots. I forget what this specific eye shape is called in the LPS world of eye shapes, but I thought it was a cool shape to choose. I actually really like this shape of eye, and I've done it on some previous customs of mine. I of course used my dotting tool as well to do this. Number 1 tool I recommend if you want to do anything with spots, dots, anything like that. I also added some little itty bitty orange highlights to the eyes. I thought it blended in well, and you guys know me, I love putting hearts on stuff, so it's almost like my little signature. Put a heart on an LPS custom. But then it was done. After letting everything dry and doing a sealing coat of Mr. Super Clear varnish, we have our finished thylacine or thylacine custom. So here he is in all his glory. I'm very happy with him or her or them. I love the colors, I love how it turned out, and I'd love to hear what you guys think as well. This is my 3rd resin pet I have ever painted, and my favorite so far, especially just like the paint job as well, I'm very happy with. So I'm gonna let you guys enjoy a couple little 360s of the design, and please let me know what you think of it. Ta-da! Here is our completed thylacine custom. Ta-da-da-da-da. They are a little cutie patootie, and I'm very happy with the final product. Kind of closing in on the eye here. This was my first time trying to do like kind of like fur, kind of like a fuzzy look with painting, and I tried to stick to a color palette that was pretty reminiscent of the Australian outback. The browns, the tans, a bit of white here and there, just stuff that reminds me of home, I guess. Australia is a very dry country in general, at least where I live on the western side, so I tried to stick to kind of native colors. Obviously we have greenery, but when it comes to kind of native plants and the outback in general, this is what I think of. And I hope you guys like how it turned out as well. Obviously I did the stripes on the back, probably the most important part of a Tasmanian tiger custom. I know it's not called Tasmanian tiger, but like I've grown up saying that. It's so ingrained in thylacine. It's officially called a thylacine. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like I mentioned before, this pet does have a movable head, but I don't like moving it too much because you can see under here kind of takes away from the paint over time, so I prefer to just kind of pose it rather than continuously move the head. I think it's cool that it has a movable head so you can pose it how you want, but it's not something I'd recommend moving constantly because it can wear down at the paint, and also it can wear at the resin as well and just make the head a bit loose. So it's definitely a feature made more for posing and display. Here they are, a little side by side with my first resin custom, which was the Sphinx cat, and I think I've improved my painting on resin a bit, especially with the eyes. I opted to keep the thylacine's eyes matte. That's just my preference. A lot of people love the gloss eyes, and I understand why, because it looks so good when it's done right, but I just don't think I'm the best at doing it, so I think I'm kind of playing to my strengths by leaving the eyes matte on this custom. But yeah, there they are. Love to hear what you guys think of this custom. I'm very honored that Sunny allowed me to customize this pet and send it to me as Australia's representative. But yeah, I am of course going to be posting some images of this custom up on my Instagram eventually. I recently posted the Sphinx cat up on there, so it might not be straight away, but they will come. So there you have it. I hope this video was enjoyable, seeing the thylacine custom come to life. I'm working on multiple other customs while I have been filming this video, so please look forward to more customs coming out soon. Some I've been recording, some I haven't, so there'll be a little treat for you guys here on YouTube, but as well on my Instagram. Like always, I will be linking Sunny's Pet Garden in the description down below, because I always link to wherever I get my stuff, and that is where you can pick up your own thylacine base or just any of Sunny's incredible LPS inspired resin animals. I really recommend them if you're somebody who wants to try out customizing, especially on animals that don't really exist in the Littlest Pet Shop world. And because they're resin printed, they are very good quality and very smooth and easy to paint on. So definitely check out the link in the description down below. Not sponsored, but like I mentioned, Sunny did send me this base to paint, so I really appreciate them for that. And I've literally bought resin figurines from them before with my own money, so I can definitely like say they are good. But I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, let me know your opinions on our thylacine, and any name suggestions are always welcome. If you enjoyed this video, like always, please do not forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you next time with another new upload. Until then, bye guys! Bye!